I didn't scream when I saw bulldozers rolling over my grandmother's grave. I just unfolded the yellowed 1902 deed from my great-grandfather's hands and laid it on the hood of the site manager's truck and watched his smug little grin disappear. The Crestwood Estates, how I thought they could pave over our cemetery for tennis courts and pickleball. They thought they could erase generations of history with asphalt and landscaping, but they didn't know me. My name is Lena Carter, 41 years old, granddaughter of Evelyn, great-granddaughter of Isaiah Carter, the man who bought those 3 acres in 1902 when black folks weren't allowed in white cemeteries. What they bulldozed wasn't just dirt, it was sacred ground. Let me tell you how it started. Our cemetery sat quiet on the south edge of town for over a century. Oak trees older than the city shaded the headstones every Sunday after church. We polished the marble, planted flowers, poured sweet tea for the elders, telling stories about those who rested there. My mama was buried there in 2016. I planted lilies by her grave and promised I'd keep the land safe. But work, kids, and life pulled me away. That's when Crestwood Estates expanded, led by Chip Whitaker III, a man who treats golf polos like formal wear and thinks money makes him mayor of the world his plan. Turn our cemetery into recreation space translation, dig up our people, and lay down asphalt. I came back one blistering August morning in 2023 to find headstones stacked like trash and survey stakes in the dirt. The smell of diesel mixed with hot tar burned my throat. My stomach twisted like I was standing over an open grave. Chip rolled up in his shiny SUV Rolex, flashing, and said in that syrupy voice, "Only con men perfect. Miss Carter, I'm sorry for the misunderstanding, but this parcel was rezoned. We'll name the pickleball courts after your family." That's when I knew this wasn't a mistake. This was war. Here's your first knowledge nugget. In many southern counties, black cemeteries weren't mapped on official plats because segregation kept them off the record. But a deed from 1902? That's ironclad property law. I spent nights in the courthouse basement digging through dust-covered boxes until I found it. Isaiah Carter's purchase of 3 acres for the colored burying ground for the colored burying ground because he couldn't write his name. That document was worth more than any glossy developer. When I showed it to Chip, he documents can be challenged. Documents can be challenged. Sweetheart, lawyers. He underestimated 2 things. He underestimated 2 things. And my stubbornness. I contacted the state historic preservation office, the NAACP, and descendants of the displaced. Turns out bulldozing a cemetery without federal clearance isn't just federal clearance, it's a felony. That's when the harassment began. That's when the harassment mailed me compliance citations for weeds on my citations, peeling weeds on even my mailbox, peeling my tires, my mailbox twice. Neighbors whispered that I was unstable. Neighbors whispered that I was unstable. But here's your second knowledge from elders. Oral testimony from elders can prove a cemetery's existence when written records are missing. Elders and I had plenty of Ms. Robinson, 89 years old, stood on 89 years old, tears streaming down her face. I buried my husband in that soil. I buried my husband in that soil. They can't erase him. That video went viral. That video went viral. Suddenly the narrative flipped. I wasn't a troublemaker. I was a descendant fighting for the dead. A descendant fighting for the dead who couldn't fight back. He held a press conference calling me a radical activist. His wife exploiting grief. Staged a photo op with children playing. But every reporter saw the broken headstones piled in the background. City council members who'd taken his donations started pretending they never knew him. Reporters dug up his history of shady rezoning. The tide was shifting. Court was the battlefield. The smell of the battlefield. The smell of old wood polish filled the room as I clutched my grandmother's Bible. And that Chip showed up in a $3,000 suit with $1,000 lawyers. With his attorney argued, no verifiable graves. That's when I played the funeral footage of my mama in 2016. Then photographs from 1989 flowers by her husband's grave. Then sworn testimony from elders. And finally, ground-penetrating radar survey funded dozens of graves still beneath dozens of graves. You could hear the air go out of Chip's legal team. The judge's gavel slammed like judge's gavel. The Carter Cemetery is a protected historic site. All development must cease. All development must cease. HOA was fined. Every grave restored.
every grave restored, every headstone returned, chip-faced desecration of the cemetery,
a felony with prison time attached. With prison time attached, the Carter Memorial Park, the Carter Memorial Park, grants funded by HOA restitution, and HOA restitution. Preserved forever. The land is walking paths curved between restored headstones. Between restored tell the stories of those buried tell the stories. And my mama's lilies bloom every and my mama's lilies bloom every spring. I bring my children to lay flowers. I bring my children to lay flowers and tell them because one day I refuse to let them be forgotten. If you loved this story, if you loved this story, like drop a comment. Where are you watching? Drop a comment. Where are you watching from? Because truth always rises.